Warning, this show contains adult language, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. If you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. So today's 183 episode, and we want to talk about RV living, lifestyle design, and like kind of more of an update and some things that's not quite for everybody, I think. And it may be for a lot of people. There's some different things we need to factor in here before we dive in and figure, hey, we're going to live the rest of our lives this way. Because I've been doing this for about, I'd say 5 years now. And I used to live in it 2 years prior to that in a community. So really, I think I have somewhere probably around 7 years, 8 years, give or take, living in an RV, full stationary, not traveling around. And we've saved a lot of money. We did a lot of things, but there's a lot of things it's not conducive to as far as like prepping. Like for natural disasters or, a COVID fucking pandemic, storage of food, things like that. If you've got a business, running it, what type of business do you run? Do you repair things? So when you live in an RV, it's kind of like minimalism and essentialism and everything kind of all mixed together, depending on how you want to do it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we do so, I just want to do some house cleaning, I guess, as other podcasts that I listen to say. This podcast takes a lot of work and a lot of energy, and I'm starting to get fat, you guys. I'm starting to turn into a fat buck. I know I've gained weight. My belly's starting to stick out. In Russian, we call it paza. And I got to start doing some. I went for a run this morning before work here and did some push-ups and stuff like that. But I guess the point I want to make is that I run a lot of different things. Those of you who've been following me, I'm an entrepreneur, so I run my own construction business, and I got basically to cut the shit out of my mouth, and I tell you guys my whole boring life story here, is I'm running multiple businesses and stuff. We're starting multiple businesses. So, yeah, it's taken away from my health. I'm gaining weight. I get up super early in the morning. I just wanted to inspire you guys to let you guys kind of know what the lifestyle is like, you got to get up at 4:35 in the morning, write a bunch of show notes out, get your perspective together, make sure you're awake so that when you do the podcast show, you're coherent and everything. So it takes a lot of work, and it's starting to take away from a lot of time. So I may start reducing the postings. This whole week we've been doing 5 days a week, and really extensive ones. Those took a lot of time. I hope they brought value. If they did, I need to know. Because we've been at this for about 2 years now, this podcast, and I'm not sure if we're taking any momentum. You guys got to understand, on my side, I have no idea what's going on as far as subscribers or if anybody's even listening. Like the charts are all over the place. I know that we have some listeners from different parts of the world, it seems, but as far as the amount of downloads and if people are enjoying this show, I have no idea. It's like talking to a wall. So after 2 years, hopefully you can understand why I would consider going, maybe we should just do one show a week. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but we're not really getting much engagement here, which I guess is normal too for podcasts. It's hard to get reviews. It's hard to get people to comment. So anyways, that's where we stand with that. And I got to figure out what to do, but I definitely got to get back to my health. I share this on the show so much. Is if we don't have our health, what do we have? Nothing. So if we don't have our sanity, what do we have? If we don't have a place to live, we have nothing. So today we're going to go at the RV lifestyle design, and let's do it. So it's a low overhead. And I think definitely on the YouTube show, John Doe or something, I think his name's John Doe. Shout out to you for commenting, brother. He just moved into one. It sounds like he's been in it for maybe about a year or so. And he says the best thing he ever did. So in this day and age with the recession and great reset and all this kind of stuff going on, I think it's definitely helpful for people because it takes that overhead way down low. I think John Doe was telling, I can't remember, Don Joe was saying that he's spending $175 a month with utilities included in Arizona. So we talked about this on the RV shows before, and it doesn't beat it. Oregon, Texas, Arizona, there's all kinds of different places you can go to lower that overhead so that you can get yourself up and running as far as getting a savings. And I really recommend this. For a lot of people to get their shit together, what does that mean? They got their shit together. They got a house. They got a brand new car. That doesn't mean shit. That means that they got into debt. When I look at somebody, my definition is somebody's got their shit together. Is they're willing to eat shit for a while. They're willing to live in a trailer for $175 a month and save a shit ton of money. Get rid of their debt. Save 6 months to, I would prefer a year in advance of emergency funds. That's how I was able to do what I've done. It wasn't from just sitting around doing nothing, living in a house trying to look good for everybody. Hell no. I look like shit. Besides, if I tried to look good, it wouldn't be fucking possible. So I got that advantage on most people. Anyways, yeah, low overhead. If anybody needs to get started before you have kids, even if you got kids, I mean, I've had some friends of mine who told me they grew up in an RV park as a little child. I never had that experience, but they said it was some of the best times of their lives they never forgot. So consider RVs, full-time RV living lifestyle. So here's some issues though. Storage. Storage is an issue. If you're, like I said, we're going to go into your occupation considerations and stuff like that. But storage, I mean, if you're living big, you know, and what you think is living small, it ain't living small until you live in a fucking trailer or a tiny house. This show applies to tiny house living, I'd say, and RV living for sure. But yeah, once you get in there and you start cramming stuff, that's when you realize, okay, we got to definitely downsize like our stuff. But to what extent do you go to? So that's why I say, is this for everybody? I'm very busy. I have 2 kids, single dad. So I've got something, air fryer, pressure cooker thing, applying automation into my life, as I like to share on the show all the time. And there's no place to put stuff. I live in a 29-foot trailer. It's like living in a fucking hallway, you know? Especially with a special needs kid. They just wander around. They have no, they have no idea. Bless their hearts, But they're standing right in the middle while you got an armful of dishes, which is your fault. I guess you shouldn't be carrying a fucking whole armload of dishes. You can make 2 trips. But they're just like trying to play and they're in the way and you just want to punt them like a football and go, hey, jokes, folks, jokes. Jesus, I might get in trouble for shit like that. Just because you think it, doesn't mean you should say it. So yeah, storage is definitely an issue when you start to use like a bunch of utensils and things like that. I'm sorry, not utensils, but like machineries. Like I have a automatic food processor that chops foods, it grates foods. I've got a thermal cookware. It doesn't use any electricity. You just heat it up. It's like a giant thermos. A juicer, which that's what I'm looking at. How conducive is this little space? Especially if you've got one of those compression hydraulic juicers. They weigh a ton. They're like 100 pounds, and you're really into health and you need the juice. There's hardly any counter space. There's hardly any refrigeration space. If you're a vegan, I don't know how the hell you're going to do that, If you're eating just like a lot of raw veggies, I guess I'd have to say. Vegans eat all kinds of stuff. But if you're just eating a raw vegetable diet, you're going to be going to the grocery store a lot. So you better make sure that you're close to facilities. So yeah, storage is definitely a problem. When I look at my occupation, like I was telling you guys at the beginning of this show, when I was bumbling my mouth off about a bunch of crap, trying to complain to you guys, but nobody listens, is that I own a construction company. So I'm running a construction company out of an RV park. How do I do that? I have 2 storage containers. They have an area where they store just RVs, right? And it's about $3 a foot, I think, $2 to $3. I think they raised it to $4, which still isn't bad. So I got a 30-footer and a 40-foot shipping container, and I store all my stuff in there. It's very difficult. You can't have anything outside, so everything, trash, everything has to be in a storage container. I also have a dump trailer and a V-nose enclosed box trailer, and that's like all the stuff I need for my work. So I'm able to park and pay rent there, and that averages out. On this side of Sunnyside, California, San Diego, I'm spending probably about $1,100 a month, which a lot of you guys will probably think is crazy, but the average going rent here is like $2,000, maybe even more. So yeah, but your occupational considerations and your lifestyle too. Like if you're fixing things, if you got a saw, right, and you got a hammer, and you got a cordless drill, and you got cordless drill battery chargers, and you got a reciprocating sawzall, these kind of things, an axe for firewood. You start adding mechanics tools, which I have. It starts to add up, and I think that this lifestyle would be best suited for most people who work in offices and stuff like that. And basically, to make it short and sweet, because that's what we have to do for time on the show, is somebody who pays someone like me to fix shit. Because if you're a fix-it-do-it-yourselfer guy, you're just driving yourself crazy. And that's kind of where I want to go, a little bit on but off subject here, is that I want to juice. I want to dehydrate my own foods. I want to can, and I'm doing these things, and it's driving me nuts because there's no space. I'm also somewhat of a prepper where, I like to have about 3 to 6 months worth of food, just like money, a year to 2 years advance of money. I like to have foods and plenty of water, but it's becoming to where it's expanding, and I'm just, this little space is starting to become annoying. I've saved a lot of money, and I'm not saying that that it was horrible. It was just very difficult, very inconvenient. So I'm really considering something else. I don't know yet. The thing I do like to say, though, is when you get the overhead, going back to the beginning here, you have a low overhead and you're able to save a bunch of money, you can actually take time to just think about what you want to do and organize your life. Whereas most people who've got a mortgage or paying the $2,000 a month rent, they're so busy, the house payments or car payments and stuff like that, they're so busy going, they barely have time. And really, a lot of the things that I've designed, I call it the alternative lifestyle design, is what I'm living. It's taken many years, and it's taken a lot of hours, a lot of observation of pulling back from everything and looking at it and going, what is going on here? Why am I irritated? Why am I frustrated? Why am I broke? Or why, how can I make more money? Excuse me. It takes that time, and that's what RV living allows you, is for you to be able to take that macro. So yeah, we went into occupations, having tools, storing materials. That's the one thing that really bugs me, is I get to save a lot of materials for my jobs, like 2x4s and paints and stuff. But where do you put them? You literally have to throw them away, or you have to give them away, and it's a lot easier to just throw them away. So preparedness practices is the next one. Like I said, I think gasoline. When I look at preparedness, I'm not one of those tin hat wearing crazy people, building a bunker. Not yet, anyways. Wait till my kids drive me crazy. I have a place to hide. No, but I prefer to have, when I say prepping, it's a year's supply is the goal, I think, for me. If people ask me, Adrian, what should I do? Work on getting a year's supply of money first, emergency funds. Next, you're going to work on getting yourself food supply. And you want to get about 60 days of food supply. Depending how large your family is. You also want to keep fuel. If you have a freezer, you need fuel. So you want to have about, you want about 30 gallons of gas. I don't want to make the show about prepping or whatever, but that's basically the extent of what I've got. I also store probably about 10 giant cases of water. I probably got over 1,000 bottled water. Why would I have them in plastic? Because they're preserved some way. I don't understand. They last up to 2 years. So yeah. That's just about the extent of it. There's nothing really more that I prep on, but yeah, it's not very conducive, I think, for a lot of people, and I think that could be dangerous, because if shit did hit the fan and you're RV living and you don't have these things in place, you're relying, as we said, for somebody else to fix shit. You're relying on the grocery store to have your fresh vegetables every time you go to the store, every time you run out. You see where this goes. So it is conducive at some points, and it's not so conducive. So yeah, processing foods it's ridiculous. I think even cooking, I cook on an outdoor grill. I use it as an oven. I use it as a barbecue. I use it as a smoker. I've done bread, pizza, steaks, cakes, brownies, everything. But what's really nice, though, is that the pressure cooker / air fryer does the oven, it does everything. I would definitely recommend people to get something like that, so you can actually kind of almost grill stuff too. But yeah, the last one too I want to go on for this show before we get too far. Yeah, we're already going on 15 minutes. Is the quality of the neighbors, of the neighborhood. So what happens is you get a lot of senior citizens in places like this. They pass away, new people move in. Right now, what we're experiencing with this recession is a lot of people losing their shit already. So they're all flocking towards the RV park. And the RV park where I live is the only one this side of hell, I think, that you can live at permanently. There's not another one for many miles away. I feel like I got a hair in my throat here. See that, guys? For those of you watching, glass bottle with a stainless steel straw, right? BPA plastic lid, That's how we drink our water, save the planet. Anyways, yeah. right now we're experiencing some riffraff. So the low overhead lifestyle does attract some pretty foul people, I'd say, to put it straightforward. Some pretty fucking foul people. People I wouldn't mind taking their head to a telephone pole. Some horrible stuff. And depending on where, I live way out past the city. I'm not even in the city, and there's these people showing up. We have homeless people coming in and using the facilities, the showers, and they're stealing some people's laundry and stuff like that. That happened for a little while. I don't think anybody messes with me because I'm 6'4" and I look like a Mongolian, Russian. I'll probably come riding on a donkey with a fucking, a goddamn sword and shit and shield off the side of the fucking hill to start lopping heads, but nobody really messes with me too much. But yeah, it's not very, I don't know. That's the part that's starting to get to me, is I'm like, there's definitely, these hard times are attracting some riffraff to the show, and I'm not quite liking it. What I do like, though, is that I have the freedom to pick up and move if I so choose to. So I think if you guys were going to find a place, you want to find one that's gated and that's got key codes on the bathrooms and the laundry facilities and things like that. Because take in consideration that yes, it is a very low overhead of cost of living, but that also attracts the rats too. So yeah, I don't know. All in all, if you guys ask me, well, should you or shouldn't you? If you're down and you're broke, I would say fucking go for it. You know what? Even if you're not broke, if you got a dream, if you're an entrepreneur like me, you're trying to make some money online and like start some sort of business. Live this lifestyle, because what that affords for me to do, that's where I'm going right now. I'm going to my spin farm. It's Monday morning for me, recording this podcast right here the last week of January 2021. If that matters to anybody. If anybody's listening to me, I'm going to my farm. I'm going to go check on my plants. I'm going to do some innovation steak on Monday because I can. Most people were driving to their jobs this morning. Some of them were already gone at 6 in the morning. Me, I went for a run this morning. I chose to do a shorter episode today so that I can get my health back in order so I don't turn into a fat fuck ass, eating bonbons and fucking looking like the Michelin tire guy. We're almost there. The fucking turkey chin. It's embarrassing. I haven't seen my penis in probably fucking, about 6 months. Just kidding. That probably got me in trouble. We should probably edit that out. All right, guys. Well, that's the show. I would say it's conducive. You might want to listen to all the shows we've done on it. You're going to get the pros and the cons. I've got to get out and start gardening, doing something with my life instead of being a fucking loser, a fat loser here. And I hope that this helped you guys out. If it did, it's upinitshow@gmail.com. Comment, give me a middle finger, thumbs up, thumbs down. As I said, guys, I don't know. The show, I said, takes a lot of work. We're going to see. I don't think we're going to be doing the 5 days a week. But if we can, we will. We'll put it this way. I'll make a deal with you. We're going to try to post as much as possible. So I don't even know if we're going to do the Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but we still got some more shows going. We're going to see how the week goes. I got to go out and make some moolah. So if you like this sort of thing, it's Up and In It. You can check it out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere where they'll let me publish these podcasts. As I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human the fuck up. Live it, love it, own it. And I hope all those swear words don't mess you guys up too much. And